right now at the Natural Effect Podcast or the Real Natch. Yeah, we're gonna get it cracking in a sec, and we're gonna cover quite a lot today for all my Instagram people. Before we start the stream, we're gonna cover the Tahoe trip, me no longer being plant-based, which is a big shock to most people, I know. UFC 317 recap. We're going to be talking about how I predicted most of the things that happened at UFC 317. I predicted the Pantoja third round submission, I said, and it happened in the third round. I said that Topuria would knock out Oliveira in the first round. And I also said that Joshua Van will get the win and go and fight for the title. So I got pretty much all of that correct. I did get wrong the Dariush vs Moicano fight, which was a domination from Dariush. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about Jeff Bezos marries a 304. Double standards in dating. The Bob Villain situation with the whole Israel and Palestine situation. And yeah, we're going to have a little outro and basically just catch up. I know I haven't streamed in probably about a week and a half, 2 weeks now. So yeah, looking forward to it. Let's read any of the chats. Yeah, I've put up links on had the lime juice a month ago, so fire terps. I'm glad you like the lime juice, man. We've got plenty and plenty more lime juice coming. We've got lime juice crosses coming. We're working on so many different things right now. So, you know, we're in the lab, let's just say. And in 2025, the end of it, and the beginning of 2026, we're going to have things that no one has right now. So looking forward to that. What's happening, guys? Hope all is well. And what are you saying, Trev? We ready to go? Have we gone live on YouTube yet? Oh, YouTube's live. All right, cool. So what's Trev doing? All right, cool. All right, cool. So guys, we're gonna come. Yes, mate. K, what's happening? You can smoke one strain for the rest of your life. Choose one. ELD, I'll give you the answer. Not too expensive for Cali as well, which is nice to see. Yeah, man, we're never going to rip people off. And I'll tell you something, the most expensive out of all our stuff is going to be Skittles, is going to be things that are low-yielding strains, things that are hard to grow, because it just has to make sense for the grower, right? And it has to make sense for myself. But yeah, ELD, if I could choose one strain to smoke for the rest of my life, I'd probably go with Lemon Tree. Lemon Tree or Skittles. The only thing is, those two strains are not strains that you would have just before bedtime. Just before bedtime, I like to have something a little bit more stronger, like a Toad Venom or an OG. Even a lime juice gets it cracking. Do you get what I'm saying? But yeah, during the day, definitely Skittles or Lemon Tree. Also good to see you guys get paid, but I feel sometimes people just hit up price without considering the people. 1000%, Mob G. But at the same time, I think also the consumer bases have to take into consideration all the time, the risk, the losses that goes through as well. So, Lemon Tree is perfect for me. It's a classic OG. I love a classic OG. But you two, I'm enjoying the conversation here on Instagram. Come over to YouTube. Come over to Rumble. Come over to Kick, Twitch. Either one of those guys, and we'll carry on the conversation. It's going to be an epic stream. So I'll catch you guys there. Mr. Baked Roll, go on, Nature. I always remember my first pack of Nature's cookies was such an amazing terp. Where's it gone? Mr. Baked Roll, we lost the cookies, but I am working on a few things. I don't know if you've had the Van Gogh, but we got the Van Gogh when we crossed it again with the cookies that I like. We're trying to get a cookies that actually yields a decent amount. Most cookies is such a bad yielder, but we are working on some cookie strains in the future, man. I love cookies. One of my favorites there. Watch it on YouTube. You can go on the link. I've dropped it on Instagram on all my accounts. It's at the Natural Effect Podcast on YouTube. See you guys there. Have a good one, guys. Take care. So we've cut off Instagram on one of the other accounts, and then we're gonna cut off this one. Okay. Yo, Ryan Brady, what's happening? Hope you're doing well. I see a few of the boys in the chat. One sec. So yeah, guys, come over to YouTube, come over to Twitch, come over to Kick, any other platform. I'm going to cut off the Instagram right now. We're going to be talking about a few things that are not really Instagram friendly. Talking about politics, cannabis, health, talking about me not being plant-based no more. So yeah, man. Big up L Pax, big nature. Jeez, big up L Pax. Old school, man. As glad to see you're still around, man. Hope all is well. Right, Brady. Catch you guys on YouTube, all right? YouTube guys. YouTube, Kick, Twitch, Rumble, any one of those. All right, cool. No, I don't want to share that. Okay. Discard video. All right, guys, finally, I can just check the camera out and talk to just one camera now. Sorry about that, guys. I just want to get as many people over from Instagram. You know, it just happens to be that a lot of my big platform is on Instagram. I get more views on Instagram than any other platform. Whenever I go live on Instagram, I get at least 20, 30 people within all my accounts, especially on my personal account. I normally get 50 to 100 people on my personal account, which I'm not allowed to go live on right now. I think the ban comes off in sometime in July, which I'm looking forward to. And yeah, we're trying to just get over as many people over to YouTube. But welcome to the Natural Effect podcast, where we talk about health, wealth, and everything else. And I'm going to introduce to you guys what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm going to be having a little recap on my Tahoe trip, talking about Lake Tahoe, why it's such a special place, and why I want to live there in the future. We're also going to be talking about why I'm no longer plant-based. Sorry guys, I'm just looking. Is my water bottle over there? Andy, yeah. So yeah, I'm also going to be talking about why I'm no longer plant-based. I'm still alkaline, but I'm eating alkaline animals. So I'm eating things like bison, wild caught fish, goat's cheese, goat's milk, and I'm going to explain to you guys why I've gone that way. I know it's been a shock to a lot of people. I've had loads of DMs, people messaging me like they can't believe it. And guys, I was plant-based for literally a decade. No cheating at all. Not once. Do you get what I'm saying? I remember once when I was in Cali, when I first come over, like I got contaminated by accident when I went to a restaurant, and you know, all the guys around me were laughing and having a joke, and it was with a little bit of cheese in a pasta. But apart from that, I wouldn't even think about another time I could have been contaminated. I was one of those guys that was always strict. So yeah. Would love to see you do an OG cross a lime. Jack, that is in the works, and that's a great one. Big up to Jack, man, because yeah, for sure I do want to see a sweet terp, like a lemon cherry, like a zope maybe, crossed with an OG. I think that will go really nice and well together. Big up to my guy in Scotland. I can see you're in the chat as well. We're also going to be talking about the UFC 317. I don't know if you guys are in. I don't know if everyone who's into the chat is into UFC, but you guys know that's the only sport I actually watch, really, and I sit down and I take my time to actually learn more about it. I think it's very important for all men to be able to fight, to at least learn one mixed martial art. Learn one martial art, whether it's jiu-jitsu, whether it's kickboxing, Muay Thai, karate. You got to learn one. Pescatarian for a year in me, bro. How are you feeling being a pescatarian now, Jack? Big A, big up to you. What else you live on, bro? We're going to go through my diet. I'm going to explain to you guys what my diet is, why I think it's the optimal diet. UK homies got it locked. We know our shit over here. I've always said this. Look, the mecca of cannabis will and always be California. I can agree with that. But the fussiest and the most knowledgeable consumer bases in general, you know, if you lined up 100 Brits, 100 French, 100 Germans, 100 Americans, you know, whether it's people in California, New York, it doesn't matter where it is here in America. I'm telling you, Brits are the most fussiest when it comes to smoking bud, man. They know their shit in general. Does it mean that everyone in the UK knows their shit? Of course not. In general, most people don't. But in the UK, we are picky. We do know our shit. We got to see the great times with the hazes in Amsterdam. We got to see the old school times back in the UK with the white rhinos and the sages, the super silvers. But we also got to see the new schools. We got to see the OG cushies what come around from California. All the new school stuff that we've had in Cali since. The Skittles, the lemon cherries, the lemon trees. You know, there's so much to name. Even sour, I would say our sour back in the UK is even better than any sour I've seen here in America. So listen, man, The UK really does have it on lock when it comes to knowledge and understanding cannabis on a bigger scale. But the mecca of cannabis will always be here in California. It's never going to be Thailand. It's never going to be, Africa or any of these places. Why? Because America has the climate. America has the knowledge. It's got the experience, years and years of experience. It has the marketing, the branding. It has the clientele. It has the money. Here in Los Angeles, one of the most richest cities in the world, as we know. So just got back from Spain, and real talk is only thing consistent over there. RTZ. What's RTZ, brother? I like jiu-jitsu, but not the most effective in the street, in my opinion. I agree with that, Jack, 100%. You don't want to be taking down people on the street, On the street, you got to kind of have hands, or at least, even kicks, really. Do you really throw crazy kicks? If you throw a head kick and you fall over, you hurt yourself, it might not be the smartest thing. I think the best art to learn for a street fight is definitely going to be boxing. Get nice and personal. Always know how to stand on the street when you're speaking to a man. Never stand straight on. Always be ready for combat, and got to lay them out with those hooks. Nature Boy Z is the best Z I've had. Not had pure and proper yet, but it's nearly 300 AQ over here. Jack, I'll be honest with you, bro. I've done reviews on the pure and proper Z, and let me be honest with you. It's good, the pure and proper Z, but in my opinion, it just doesn't touch ours. And it's literally more than double. It's like double the price, you get what I'm saying? So it just literally, big up to them guys. They're doing small batch things. They're doing it well. They're doing it the correct way. You can tell their Z's fire. But I do think that our Z's just a touch better. So yeah, we're going to be talking about the pound for pound list as well. We're going to be talking about Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos just got married to a 304. He's fucking clueless, Jeff Bezos. I think Jeff Bezos is in his 60s and he got married to a woman who's like 55. And I know not everyone has to be like me and, go for younger women. But bro, if I was Jeff Bezos, bro, fucking Jeff Bezos. Jeff fucking Bezos. He's worth how much, Jeff Bezos? 80 billion. Crazy. I would be going for like a 30-year-old at least. You know what I'm saying? But I do understand why he went for the rich 55-year-old who has 30 million. And we're going to go into that.
37 billion.
What's that? 237. I was going to say, I think he's worth more. So yeah, Jeff Bezos is worth 237 billion. And I'm going to talk to you guys why Jeff Bezos decided to go for this type of woman. There's reasoning behind that, and I'll tell you guys why. It's because he doesn't have all the things you need to be a complete man. Jeff Bezos is just a dweeb with lots of money, and he understands it's either he pays to play, so it's either he dates a woman who's really not interested in him, really doesn't love him, really doesn't want to be with him, but he's just paying her to be like a glorified prostitute, or he dates a woman not within his money bracket, because he's never going to find a woman who's got hundreds of billions, right? But date a woman who's at least a multi-millionaire. So he feels like, you know what? This woman could actually live without me. This woman could be without me. She wants to be with me for some type of reason. And I would actually agree, there must be a reason. Because at 30 million, a woman can pretty much do anything she wants. What really is Jeff Bezos going to offer her that she can't get? It's not that she can have children now. So it's not like they're going to have offspring, that they're going to need money for the future. I'm pretty sure Jeff Bezos did a crazy prenup. And, with 30 million, you can't do exactly everything you want. Like with 30 million, you can't go buy the most expensive yacht in the world like Jeff Bezos and just roam the world. But pretty much everything outside that you can. If you've got 30 million, you can go rent yourself an amazing yacht even if you want. You might not be able to buy it, but you can rent it. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about doubled standards in dating. We're going to be talking about how the male experience in dating is demonized. And we're going to be talking about the whole Bob Villain situation, which I didn't even know who the fuck Bob Villain was, I'll be honest with you. So, this whole situation of his visa being revoked here in the States because of what he was saying about the IDF, I think it kind of benefited him in a career way, which most times when you speak about them boys, them boys with the small hats, the country in the Middle East, beginning with I, doesn't begin with N like Iran, but you know who I'm talking about. And, yeah, most times when you speak about them boys, your career goes downwards. With Bob Villain, I just feel like his name just got way bigger. Like people talking about him here in America, and I didn't even know who he was, and I'm British, and I'm sure most Americans didn't know who he was either. And then we're gonna just close off with the outro, speaking about July 4th and what content is coming next. All right, cool. So, as you guys know, I never streamed last week. I was in Lake Tahoe last week, and one sec, yeah. I was in Lake Tahoe last week, and Lake Tahoe is gonna be my main choice to escape when I need to leave LA and, you know, get my mind right, recoup, you know, get my body where I want it to be, and really just get fulfilling happiness. Let's just say I don't get happiness from going to clubs, fucking new birds. Honestly, like, I've fucked so many girls in my life. Even now, like, having casual sex is meaningless to me. I'd rather have one great woman, or, you know, I wouldn't mind multiple great women, but even one great woman would be a great start right now. And you know, even recently I've probably looked at, you know, I don't think monogamy is realistic for a man, but right now monogamy's looked the most realistic to me that it's ever looked. I can't even be bothered to deal with multiple women right now. I would like to have one good woman right now and just see how it goes. But yeah, going back to Lake Tahoe, I just want to let you guys know what kind of levels Lake Tahoe is. So Lake Tahoe is the second largest lake in the US. It is the largest alpine lake in the US. And what does that mean? That means that it gets all its water from natural resource, right? It comes from the snow melts, creates a waterfall kind of spring, comes down to the lake, and that's how the water refills in Lake Tahoe. And that's why it's so clear. Lake Tahoe, you can drink Lake Tahoe. Lake Tahoe's water is cleaner than, like, I'm talking about 90% of bottled water. Everything good, guys? Yeah. And it's also 2 million years old. For me, is from doing my research, and, you know, there are other beautiful lakes out there, like Banff Lake, for example, which is in Canada. But Banff Lake, from my understanding, is very cold, like extremely cold. Like, I would swim in there, but majority of people would not. And Lake Tahoe, still a lot of people don't choose to swim in there. It is very cold. It is very chilly. But for me, it's perfect. To have that heat on the outside, which is 6,224 foot elevation. To have that elevation of Lake Tahoe so close to the sun, which I don't believe the sun is millions of miles away. That's another whole different conversation. However, to have the sun so close to you, you know, to have that elevation where you have low amounts of oxygen, which is great for your lungs, especially when you go back down to sea level. To have the ice cold water is so godly and so elite for the body and for your mind, man. There's nowhere on earth, I believe, like Lake Tahoe. And Lake Tahoe is definitely my favorite place to visit. Better than Miami, better than New York, better than Vegas. For me, Lake Tahoe is the best. Yeah, just to get him to come in, show him all the stuff, ask him if all the stuff's fine, and then I'm sure he's going to ask me to sign some papers. Yeah. Sort it out, Andy. Even you can sign for it if you want as well. Hello to Helena, which we don't have a lot of women in the chat. It's mainly male chat, but I see a woman join us in the chat. Big up to Helena. So yeah, Lake Tahoe is definitely somewhere I want to visit in the future. With my friends, my family, my immediate family, you know, my family from England. It's such a godly place, and I think it's such a great place for you to get your mind right, be away from all electronics. You know, when I was in Lake Tahoe, apart from making content, which we made a lot of content, I never really was on my phone. I try and take it in. Great place to do some mushrooms. And like I said, really get your mind right. Especially someone who lives the kind of lifestyle I live. You know, I'm very business orientated. You know, like to be up early in the morning, work on my craft, work on my physique, then get to work on finances. So to be able to escape the rat race is very important from time to time. And, you know, escaping the rat race and going to places like Miami, New York, it's not really escaping it, you know? You're still kind of in it. I'm still on my phone. I'm still doing business moves. I'm still thinking about, because you're still in a concrete jungle. You know, even Miami is influctuated with, you know, materialism and, you know, let's be honest, whores and just things that are away from God. And when you go to Lake Tahoe, I just feel like you're so much closer to God, you know, way closer to God. So yeah, and you know, it has so many other incredible things about it. Lake Tahoe is on the state line. So it's on the line of Nevada and California. So, you know, it's weird. So you could be in a place where you can go gamble, which, you know, I'm not a big gambler, but, you know, a lot of people like to gamble. You can go to casinos, etc. And then literally 10 meters away, it's illegal to gamble and you're in California. So, yeah, Lake Tahoe is a special place. It is 1,600 feet deep, which is crazy, right? 22 miles long, 12 miles wide, 17 miles of shoreline. And let me tell you guys, the shoreline is absolutely beautiful. There's places in Lake Tahoe, you'll literally think that you're in Barbados. So, yeah. So I had a great time, spent time with the team. I just got here from Insta. Okay, nice. So, yeah, I got to spend amazing time with the team. We made great content, was able to escape the matrix, spend time in nature. Definitely feel like my body rejuvenates when I get back from Lake Tahoe. That cold water, that heat, the sun, the great food. And talking of food, I did eat animal product for, you know, it wasn't the first time I done it in Lake Tahoe. I done it just before I went to Lake Tahoe. But I was vegan, plant-based, whatever you want to call it. I hadn't eaten no animal product at all, no cheating whatsoever for literally a decade of my life. It took a lot of discipline. It gave me a lot of strength and made me learn the human body a lot more. Now, I'm not going to sit here and shit on the vegan diet because the vegan diet also helped me. So I'd be a hypocrite to turn around and say, do you know what? Veganism is full of shit, is all garbage, etc. The modern day veganism, eating soy, large amounts of soy and processed food is trash. And it's the same way for people that eat meat, but also eat a lot of processed foods, you know, crisps, chocolates, you know, processed milks, processed meats, etc. All of that is garbage as well, and we understand that. But going vegan allowed me to get onto my alkaline journey. And from my alkaline journey, it allowed me to get on my strength journey. And what do I mean by that? You guys are probably thinking, right? So before I went out vegan, which was literally about 10 and a half years ago now, I was around 24 years old. So it was probably around 11 years ago now. I went vegan because I met my ex-partner, not dating, my ex-business partner. And, you know, I started working at a shop for free. I was very into like the new lifestyle, green juicing, eating raw foods. And slowly, I got rid of my acid reflux. My skin started looking better, started losing a bit of weight. And then I moved to California, right? When I moved to California, I started eating like a junkie vegan. I don't know if you guys have heard of Crossroads. It's a very popular restaurant here in LA. But I started eating Crossroads very regularly. It's full of soy, impossible meat, complete garbage, horrible, right? And I started getting fat again, putting on weight, started feeling lethargic, started feeling my knees more when I was playing soccer. My skin didn't look as good. My energy wasn't as good, right? So from being a junkie vegan and eating at Crossroads near enough every single day, people remember with me and Dankton would go to Crossroads and we'd eat every single day. Lunch and dinner a lot of times. So is Michael still here, yeah? Yeah, my driving license is in the back of my bag though, Andy. It's in that pocket there. Like, bring me my bag, I'll give it to you. Sorry, guys. We're just doing a business transaction as we're doing everything as well, so. What's that? Yeah, go on, I'll show it one more time on the stream. My ID's a British license, right? He's fine with that. Yeah, you can give it to him there. So guys, I'm doing this for you guys so you guys understand right now, yeah? So I'm about to sell one of my Patek Philippe's and you know, it originally cost me around $60,000 and the reason I'm selling it is so I can put back into my craft, put back into the content, get better cameras, better aesthetics here in the office. And I do really believe in myself when it comes to everything. You know, you guys know, like, you know, physique. I've done it before in other avenues in business, but I want to do it in content. I really believe I can blow in content and I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket when it comes to cannabis, for example. So yeah, this is going to be, this you guys are going to see is going to be an investment for the future. And, you know, it means a lot to me, but it is what it is, man. Like, I don't wear it much. It was a one of one. It was made by Patek Philippe for, not the watch itself, but the bracelet is a one-on-one. So that bracelet was made just for myself to go on this watch because I was vegan, as I said, and you know I didn't like to wear animal products, so they made me a material one. But yeah, here it is, one last time. So you guys will never see me with this watch again, but yeah. All right, it's right there as well. All right, cool. So going back to diet, so yeah, when I came over to California. And I'll read the chat in a second as well. I'll read the chat in a second, and then I'll go back to what I was saying. So, I'm sorry. I'll say what I was saying, and then I'll go back to the chat. So, when initially when I found out about, you know, I knew about the alkaline thing for a while, but then when I was a junkie vegan, I started to feel worse and worse and worse when I was living here in California. And, you know, I started to get into the alkaline diet more. And I've been alkaline now for roughly 3.5 years. So once I got into the alkaline diet, you know, I started feeling amazing. What is the alkaline diet? You guys are probably thinking. Well, you guys need to research Dr. Sebi. Dr. Sebi was a proven doctor. Dr. Sebi healed loads of celebrities, loads of high-end business people all across America, England, Europe, even in Honduras, where he's from, right? And he actually went to court against the American government, the New York Supreme Court, where, you know, they said that he had fraudulent claims and it wasn't true everything he was saying. And he pulled up with patients and he showed all the proof of him healing and reversing loads of disease. Yo, if we can keep it just a bit quiet in the back as well, because, all right, cool. So basically, I started feeling amazing on the alkaline diet, right? Alkaline diet is basically eating all foods that are not hybrids, right? So potatoes are hybrids, cauliflower hybrid, broccoli hybrid, pineapple hybrid, and a Hass avocado, which was made by the white man called Hass, hybrid. So everything I eat are original things that you can find in the wild. Like if me and you went into jungle forests, we could find the foods that I eat. Berries, strawberries, kale, chickpeas. Chickpeas is the only bean you'd find in the wild, in fact. So that is what the alkaline diet is about. And it does stem from the fact that all the things that are non-hybrids, when you burn them or cook them or eat them, they have an alkaline, it's an alkaline food. It doesn't turn into acidic, right? Just like even key limes. Key limes, people think that it's acidic because, you know, we think lemons are acidic as well, but it actually goes into being alkaline. And key lime is the original version of the lemon. The lemon was manipulated by the key lime, for example. So I started going alkaline and I felt amazing. Felt so strong, you know, got rid of all the weight I wanted to get rid of. My energy was better. My skin was amazing. Literally being alkaline, I felt the best I ever felt. And I still say being alkaline, plant-based is the best diet if you want to detox, if you want to heal, you know, if you want to get rid of cravings, parasites, that is the absolute best diet for you. Then I did it for a long time, 3.5 years, 3 years roughly to 3.5 years. And as of recently, I decided to eat animal product. Well, I got the idea from a good friend of mine, Roberto Jimenez, who's one of the best jiu-jitsu guys in the world, right? Black belt jiu-jitsu guy. He's fought on UFC Fight Pass, been a champion, gold medalist multiple times. And, you know, he's in his mid-20s still, like he's still young. And me and him, you know, we pretty much agree on most things, you know, good friend of mine. And he was just telling me, look, like I agree with the plant-based alkaline thing if you're trying to, you know, heal, I think, and I agree with him as well. But if you want to be the strongest at the gym when you're performing, even though he did tell me that he felt less agile eating animal product, you know, he felt more flexible, he was quicker and, you know, more speedy when he was not eating animal product. However, he did say that he felt stronger, he was able to push more when he did eat animal product. Now, I've been eating chickpeas, trying to go ham in the gym for a while now. Have I had good gains? Yes. But I did feel that it was a certain stage where I couldn't gain no more. And there was only so much chickpeas I could eat in a day, right? So from that, I decided, you know what? I'm going to give it a try. You know, it was a long time where I was thinking about it. I was going back and forth with myself. like thinking like, well, it's been a long time. How's my body going to take it? How's my fans going to take it? A lot of the people that watch me are plant-based because of me. A lot of my friends are plant-based. You know, a lot of my friends and family do it because of the way I've lived myself. So, you know, I was nervous. I was nervous even with my own body, even though I'm one of those guys who really doesn't give a fuck what people think. And I think as a man, you need to have that in you. But, you know, I did it. So, I tried bison steak. I tried wild caught fish. And I did go and work out after that. I do feel stronger in the gym. I think I have gained a substantial amount of weight very quickly. I don't know if that's a shock to my system. Not all of it has been muscle. Some of it has been fat because I've been eating, you know, things like yogurt, honey, and, you know, just over consuming, if you want me to be honest with you, because it's been a while since I've had these things. So I am going to go back to being like, I'm going to be like eating plant-based majority of the time, but from time to time I am going to be incorporating wild meats. For example, elk, bison, deer, wild caught fish like salmon, tuna not so much because it's high in mercury, but sea bass, pretty much things that are not bottom feeders, real fish, wild caught meats that are not being manipulated, things like cow, chicken, pork, lamb. These things have been manipulated by the man. Do you get what I'm saying? These things don't align with our DNA. Even if you're a big beef eater, go out there and try bison. It literally tastes near enough the same thing, but it's much lighter on you. It digests way quicker, and it's the original version of the cow. So that's basically, guys, why I decided to go plant-based. That's the reason, guys, why I decided to start incorporating animal products in my diet. I'm always going to be alkaline for the rest of my life. Does that mean that I won't try things here and there that are not alkaline? For example, like, you know, does it mean that I will never try pistachio in the rest of my life? I probably will. You know, maybe around Christmas I'll buy a bag of pistachios and that'll be my treat to me because that's one of my favorite hybrids. Or even potatoes. Maybe I'll have, like, you know, some fries. I don't know, maybe in 2028, you know. I'm very harsh on myself, and I think that's the best way for men to be. So that's basically, guys, why I decided to be alkaline but not plant-based going forward. I'm going to read some of the chats. Can I move the chats a little bit? Or yeah, I don't have a mouse here, but if we could go up, there were some chats that were said. Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you, my brother. All right, cool. All right, cool. So let me read the chats. All right. Big up to Helena, who's in here, the first female that's in here. Hopefully you get some value from the stream. I'm debating coming to SAC next year. I'd love to grow, but I think I'd be more a curator. Jack, if you do come out here, reach out to me, man. Sacramento's not far. And let me tell you something, Sacramento's round the corner from Lake Tahoe. So past week, I've had no processed sugar and carbs, and I feel like a new man. Harder to do it in the UK. Spain is made for it, in my opinion. Jack, in my opinion, refined sugars is literally the worst thing that you can consume as a human. It's literally just as bad as crack and cocaine. It is detrimental to your health. It's very addictive. It's terrible for you. It weakens your bones. It's bad for your blood. It's bad for your organs. There's nothing positive that comes from sugar. Yeah, and there's so many different ways of getting, you know, a natural sweetener in. You like dates? You can eat dates. You want date sugar? Date sugar. Date syrup. Honey, coconut sugar. There's so many, man. There's so many out there that you can replace with sugar. Even what's another one I'm missing? Maple syrup. That's another one. Maple syrup is another great source of a sweetener. Maple sugar as well. Yeah. Hi, bro. Need to know the cross between the mariachi and the Catiello by Nature Boy is puffing on those. The terps are crazy. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Kizzy. So the mariachi is a lemon cherry cross. Yeah, it's lemon cherry cross a sherb, and the Catiello is a Zope cross Skittles. No, OZK. Sorry, Zope cross OZK. Thing is, though, a lot of the trees cut down in Brazil is able to create soy farms. Those soy farms you speak of, 90% that is fed to farm animals. Yeah, I know, guys. I already know this, man. Fucking, that's why you need to make sure that you're eating grass-finished meats, wild caught fish, none of these farm bullshit, none of them eating all this soy, not even grass-fed, guys. It's either got to say 100% grass-fed or grass-finished and grass-fed. Because you don't want to be eating no animal that's been finished with grains or especially soy. It's pretty whack anyway. Yeah, man. Hey, bro, what? My mum is vegan, so I occasionally will eat like that a couple of days, but I'll find I'm passing wind and on the toilet all the time compared to high protein, fat low works better for me. Had some tuna tartar yesterday that was fire, along with scallops, all caught that morning. Amazing, Jack. And scallops is actually one of my favorites. We had it, which I'm going to post as well. We had it recently as well. I thought it was amazing. Loved it. It's nothing like a trumpet mushroom, but, probably the closest thing to a scallop is a trumpet mushroom, taste-wise. But it was amazing. I do like the scallops. Tuna, I do like the taste of tuna, but it does have high amounts of mercury in it, so we do have to be careful. If you are going to eat tuna, try and have loads of distilled water after it and go on a little detox for sure. Okay, where's my water? All right, cool. So guys, that's pretty much it. Any questions you guys want to ask me about nutrition, let it fly, man. Let me know. Just way more expensive in the UK. Yeah, I can imagine it's way more expensive in the UK, man. I was actually just speaking to one of my boys, Ish, who was in the UK, and he was asking me, like, in the UK, like, he was saying to me the meat basically shit in the UK and how to go about it, finding meat in the UK. But there are sources out there, man. There are local farmers you can find. But Andy, was it true that we couldn't find bison in the UK? Yeah. Yeah. Want to get out of here, to be honest, haha, but got a lot of links here still. So I hear it, Jack, man. Well, look, do what's best for you. If there's nothing holding you back and, you're young still, there's nothing to lose either. Yeah, I guess you can always go wherever you want to try, have a little vacation. If you don't like it, you can fly back. If you like it, you can, start organizing life. All right, cool. So UFC 317 recap. Guys, what the fuck did I tell? What do I always tell you, man? Let's just be honest. I'm right majority of the time, man. I don't want to sound to be egotistic, but I'm right when it comes to most things in life. Nutrition, physique, money, cannabis, UFC. UFC, I hit a lot of times. Like, imagine if I did a bet of those things that are called. If I put a bet of just Joshua Van to win, Pantoja third round submission, and Ilia Topuria first round knockout, and I even put just $100 on it, I'm pretty sure it would have given me at least like 20,000-30,000 back, maybe the rest as well. So yeah, man, fucking hell, I should have done that bet, but I just called it. I don't even call it for the money. Maybe you guys can do bets in the future. Maybe I will make a little group to give teams. W Stream, mate. Thank you, Brandos. Love it, my brother. Appreciate you. Thank you. And yeah, I'm just going to keep giving you guys, I'm going to be as consistent as possible. I promise you guys, I'm not going to Lake Tahoe for another month. And even next time I'm going to go for the weekend. So it's not going to collide with streaming hours. I'm going to go hard, man. I have got things that I'm working on in the background that, to do with my personal life that I need to sort out currently. But streaming is one of my priorities. So I called it, man. Ilia Topuria, first round knockout. I just knew it. Charles Oliveira is always on the front foot. He's always pushing the pace. And I knew it was very dangerous for him to roll like that against Topuria. And, it's kind of true what Paddy said, man. Charles Oliveira is a great fighter, but he has low IQ when it comes to fighting. He's not the smartest of fighters. He's great at jiu-jitsu. His striking is decent, but his IQ's low. How he got into boxing range so quick with Topuria, and that was always going to happen, man. Those guys like Topuria, if they catch you, you're going down. Even welterweights can go down against Topuria. I'll be fucking honest with you. I can imagine him even knocking out guys like Bilal, guys like JDM. Why not? However, he is talking about going up another division. Topuria, I'm a big fan of you. You know, I became a fan when you knocked out my old favorite UFC fighter, who's still one of my favorites. Don't get me wrong. Volkanovski and Topuria are both two of my favorite fighters. Why? Well, Volkanovski is Greek, right? He's half Macedonian, which is kind of Greek as well anyway, and half Greek. I loved Volkanovski, great fighter, short guy, great striking, all-rounder. When he fought against Islam Makhachev, it really built my respect up for Volkanovski. But not just that, but, you know, the way he carries himself, I think Volkanovski is very humble. And it was actually great to see the relationship between him and Topuria play out after they fought. They seem like they'll be really good friends. And I'd even like to see that happen. Topuria, humble again. And I know a lot of you guys are like, nah, man, Topuria's not humble. Well, look, Topuria knocks people out and he tells them that he's going to knock them out. But then after he knocks them out, he calls them legend and shows incredible respect for them. Like, look at the way he treated Volkanovski after he beat Volkanovski twice. Even Charles Oliveira, how he treated Oliveira after he knocked him out in the first round, just like he said he was going to do. Topuria is just very confident. I don't think, like, you know, he's overly egotistic, which, you know, you do have to have an ego if you're a fighter. You can't go into a fight thinking it's going to be a good fight or, you know, you're not going to knock out the other guy. You need to go in there and have some sense of delusion that you can knock out anyone when it comes to fighting if you want to be a champion and one of the best fighters in the world. And Topuria's confidence, belief, and even, honestly, he's one of the best all-round fighters we've ever seen, in my opinion. His boxing is elite. Do I need to sign anything, Andy, or did you sign them? All done, yeah? All right, cool. His boxing is elite. His power is elite. We even saw his jiu-jitsu and his wrestling was great. He was able to get taken to the floor, but as soon as he went to the floor, he reversed it straight away and he got in a dominant position over Charles Oliveira, who's a way bigger guy than him, you know? Like, even when we saw them in the weigh-ins and the head-to-head, he looked like still a different division, even though they do say that Topuria is dense, loads of muscle. Everyone that he spars with in training says, you know, when Topuria hits you, it's different. I know Merab's a small guy, but Merab says that he doesn't even want to spar with Topuria no more because every time he spars with Topuria, he gets knocked down with body shots. So yeah, what's next for Topuria? I do want to see him going either against Arman Tsarukyan. I think that's the best fight in that division for him, the hardest fight for him, or going up and fighting Islam Makhachev if Islam Makhachev takes out JDM, which I do think he will. I know a lot of people want to see the Paddy fight. That will be the biggest selling fight. I think Paddy against Topuria will be one of the... I don't think it'll break records, but I do think it'll be one of the top 10 pay-per-views in the UFC history. And, you know, it's a great fight. They both hate each other. Paddy looks enormous compared to him. You know, Paddy's done well and has fought people coming up and been dominant over them, like Bobby Green, like even his last fight against Chandler. But I do think that Topuria is that level above. I do want to see Paddy Pimblett go up against someone like Gaethje, which I heard that fight has been made. I do want to see Paddy going up against Gaethje. Maybe if he gets the win there, then he can go on to fight Paddy Pimblett. To be honest with you, I want to see this, yeah? I want to see Topuria vs Arman Tsarukyan, and the winner of that fights the winner of Paddy vs Gaethje. Do you guys agree with me? Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree? And, you know, I know that leaves out Dan Hooker, but, you know, Dan Hooker, you're going to have to sit out and wait, my G. Sorry. So, Ilia Topuria vs Oliveira, first round knockout. Talking of knockouts, guys, did you watch the fucking Jack Hermansson fight against Rodriguez Robocop? What a fucking crazy knockout that was. And, you know, the referee, man, come on, man, you got to fucking stop it sooner than that, bro. It fucking cost Jack Hermansson some brain cells for sure. Those two hammer punches after were fucking brutal. We also saw Pantoja vs Kai Kara France, which again, I called it, guys. I said third round submission. Go look at my stories. I'll post it up from 4 days before the fight. Well, no, 3 days before the fight. I said Pantoja is going to get a third round submission. And what happened? Third round submission. I could see it happening, man. I knew he was going to break him down slowly, take him to the ground, wear him out, and eventually get that submission. And it was like his, his signature finish. It was the rear naked choke from Pantoja. Pantoja, what a great fight. And you know what? I do like the attitude of Pantoja to say, you know what? I'm cleaning out the division, but I want to stay in this division. I don't want to fight Merab. Merab is a killer. I don't think I need to fight him to prove my point. And still, I think he still needs to get a few more wins, Pantoja, so he can overpass Demetrius Johnson to be the best flyweight ever. Right now, I still say Demetrius Johnson is one of my favorites, to be honest, one of the GOATs, but also the best flyweight to ever live. But I do think if Pantoja can get 3-4 more defenses in the way he's been doing it, so dominant, finishing people, I think he will go past DJ. So what do you guys think about that? Yeah, man, shout out to Brando's first time in here, appreciating the game, G. Like this style, don't like his aura. Like his style, don't like his aura. Jack, I feel it, my G, but you know what? I think to be the best, like, let's think about it, yeah? Don't you think all the greats and all the best UFC fighters, majority of them do have that kind of aura, you know? And, you know, it makes you either love him or hate him. Conor McGregor had that aura. You know, we did have some humble champions like Aldo as well, but majority of them do have that aura. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, Adesanya had that aura. Kamaru Usman had that aura. Who else? Khabib even had that aura. You know, Khabib was humble, but Khabib believed that no one could beat him. And I do like Ilya. The reason I like Ilya is Ilya could get away with being my little brother. He's short like me. You know, he's dating a taller girl, which I'd be down to do as well. You know, try and produce some D1 athletes. And he simply just doesn't give a fuck. He's very confident. He's going for the Dagestanis. He's Georgian, which means he's a Christian Orthodox, just like myself. And, you know, I kind of see myself in Ilya. So, yeah, I do like Ilya Topuria. I'm a big fan. And when he knocked out Volkanovski and then he showed him the respect after, I became a bigger fan. So, the next fight, which was the fight of the night, right? Guys, Brandon Royval vs Joshua Van. What a fucking fight. And Joshua Van must have one of the quickest rises to the UFC ever. Like, I'm talking about 6 months ago, no one knew who the fuck Joshua Van was, especially casuals, right? And now everyone knows who Joshua Van is. What a style he has. He's got the power all round. Only 23 years old. And this guy, maybe not straight away because he's going to fight Pantoja next and it's going to be a very hard fight for him, I believe. But one day, Joshua Van will be a champion. Incredible, man. What a rise to the UFC. So quick, so dominant. And you know, Brandon Royval is a fucking warrior. Brandon Royval is a great fighter all round. You know, he's got submissions, he's got knockouts, he's good at striking. And Joshua Van was able to go out there and get the better out of him, man. Joshua Van, big props. You know, young guy, great boxing, and you have an incredible future. I can see it. You're definitely going to be a champion, my G. 100%. So, yeah, big up to Joshua Van and Brandon Royval on the fight of the night, and what a fight it was. So, the only fight I got wrong out of the main card was the Beneil Dariush vs Moicano fight, right? I did go with Moicano, but I did say I will not be surprised if Beneil Dariush gets the win. I did say that. And you know, I went against someone who actually trains at my gym. You know, hopefully I don't see him in the future. Well, he's probably not seen this, but you know, hopefully he doesn't see this and I don't see him. But yeah, Beneil Dariush has trained at Gracie Barra and Tarzana before. And you know, I know my coaches have good relationship with him. And, you know, I deep down, I think I wouldn't mind if he won. I didn't really care who won because I do like Ronaldo Moicano and I do like Beneil Dariush. Two very different characters. However, I did not expect Beneil Dariush to just dominate him the way he did. And, you know, one thing I like about Moicano is he loves to take accountability. And that's such a masculine thing, you know, for a man to do. majority of humans do not like to take accountability. Moicano's not one of those guys. He come out and he said it. I got tired, wasn't good enough, need to get back to the drawing board. It is what it is. And Beneil Dariush, it was great to see, you know, a man bounce back from, you know, he's had a little bit of a roller coaster in the lightweight division, right? He's had wins, losses. To be honest, Beneil Dariush, the only losses that he's had are absolute killers, right? You could call him the gatekeeper of the division, but I do believe that Beneil Dariush does have it in him to one day maybe go and become a champion. And it will be one of those stories like Charles Oliveira where he did have that roller coaster career and he was able to go get a title. However, he's got killers in front of him, man. He's got killers like Ilia Topuria. He's got killers like Arman Tsarukyan, you know. Even like people like Gaethje, Paddy Pimblett, which I do think Gaethje might be retiring soon. I want to see how he performs in his next fight. Even Max Holloway, another killer in the lightweight division who I missed out. Remembered him as well. So, yeah, man. That's pretty much the UFC wrapped up. I hope you guys liked the UFC wrap-up for the UFC 317. I'm looking forward to 318, which is going to be Dustin Poirier vs Gaethje. I'm looking forward to 318, which is going to be Dustin Poirier vs Max Holloway. Absolute legend fight. It's going to be Dustin Poirier's retirement fight. And I looked at Max Holloway. No, sorry. Dustin Poirier was Max Holloway's first fight. And now Max Holloway is going to be Dustin Poirier's last fight, which is incredible, right? It's weird how things work. And I'm definitely looking forward to that. It's going to be an absolute banger. And yeah, man, I don't like to invest too much of my time and my energy into sports because I think we should always focus on our physique, finances, bettering ourselves. But, you know, I do love UFC. I do love mixed martial arts. I do think that in my future, you know, I will be covering more and more UFC stuff. In my future, once I retire, I will be developing. I want to develop more MMA stuff in Cyprus, Britain, even here in California. Maybe have like what's it called? You know, not camps, but like a gym, my own gym where I teach MMA my way. Everyone's alkaline, eating the alkaline way, deep breathing techniques, sun gazing, doing all the right things, but learning from the best jiu-jitsu guys, the best strikers. And I do have that foundation around me. I do have some of the best jiu-jitsu guys as friends. I do have some great strikers as friends. And, you know, with more and more resources, the more I accomplish going forward, who's to say I won't get more involved into UFC, which I do love, and it's definitely one of my passions. And it's crazy to me that it's my favorite sport, because at 20 years old, if you told me that MMA and mixed martial arts was going to be my favorite sport, I'd say to you that you're fucking absolutely mad, and there's no chance of that. I would have said football, aka soccer, was always going to be my favorite sport, but now it's second. Maybe even third after foot golf. Shit. So, all right, cool. You guys saw the pound for pound list. Topuria is the number one now. And, you know, I'm sure Islam Makhachev is in Dagestan fucking fuming right now. Fuming. Khabib, what is this bullshit? Dana White, bald bastard. You get what I'm saying? They're probably blaming Dana, even though Dana doesn't have much to do with the pound for pound list. Even though Dana White was always saying for a long time that John Jones should be the pound for pound greatest, which I disagree with. John Jones should be the pound for pound best duck in the world. And I'm glad to see that he's fucking finally retired. And it's crazy. He's retired and he's back into trouble with police. He just retired. I just done him a funeral and he's back into trouble with police, which I just remembered something. Taj and Trev, I do want to make some shorts on John Jones and the Brian Atlas thing, just so now I remember. We made those mid-length videos, but I do think we should incorporate those into shorts. I think they'll do really, really well, especially the Brian Atlas one as well. So, okay, so the pound for pound list, right now we have Topuria at number 1, Makhachev at number 2, Miradivashvili at number 3, Duplessis number 4, Pantoja number 5, Volkanovski number 6, Ankalaev number 7, Madalena number 8, Aspinall number 9, Pereira number 10, Holloway number 11, Belal Muhammad number 12, Turukian number 13, Chimaev number 14, and Oliveira number 15. And, you know, I kind of agree with those. I agree with those. I know there's going to be, I think there's going to be a few names falling out of that list in the future. I think Oliveira will definitely fall out of that list soon. If Holloway doesn't get the win out of Poirier, he could fall out of that. Same with Belal Muhammad. But everyone else kind of seems like they're going to be staying on that list for a while. So that's the pound for pound list. Do you guys disagree with any of the pound for pound rankings? Do you guys agree with any of them? Let me know. Ilya, if he smoked tree. First time, looks like he's. I look at someone like Khabib. Ilya, if he smoked tree. I look, eat someone like Khabib. Ilya, if he smoked tree. Even someone like Sugar O'Malley, man. How cocky was Sugar O'Malley, right, when he was champion? Any suggestions on intermittent fasting? Been doing 10 p.m. till 3 p.m. But I'm type 1 diabetic, so it fucks with my blood sugars. What I would say is definitely do more fasting, Jack. And if your blood sugar does drop, then what I would say is incorporate things like maybe a watermelon juice or coconut water. Coconut water would probably be the best one. Try coconut water. If that doesn't work, then try maybe like a watermelon juice, cantaloupe juice. Maybe like just eating like, if those don't work, which I'm sure those will work, if those don't work, just eat one date, bro. Just eat one date. That will definitely get your blood sugar where it needs to be. Just make sure you stay off the refined sugars, because that's how it fucks with your blood sugars all the time. You know, eating all this refined sugar is how people fuck with their body. And people who are diabetic come from bad, poor nutrition choices. So, all right, cool. Bezos marries 304. That's it, guys. Work 50 hours a week, so I can't go jiu-jitsu as much as I want to. Where are you from, Jack? Where in the UK are you from? So, Bezos marries 304. And I don't know if she's so much of a 304, but, you know, she's an older woman who kind of carries herself like, I'm sure she's a 304. But, look, let me explain to you guys why you need to be the best version of yourself in all departments. There's no point being someone like Bezos, being someone like Elon Musk, and acquiring loads and loads of finances, but then not working on your physique, not learning female nature, you know, not gaining experience with women. And you guys are probably thinking, nah, man, if you got 200 billion, you're fine. It doesn't work like that, guys. If you're worth 200 billion and you don't understand female nature, that just makes you a bigger target to the women. And what do I mean by that? Well, women who see men who have just money are seen to women as just tricks, just a bag. Get in there, extract whatever resources you can and get the fuck out of there. So I kind of understand why Bezos went for a woman who had $30 million. You know, she's an entrepreneur herself. And yeah, the reason why is because he has two choices, Bezos. Bezos either dates a woman in her 20s, 30s, who's very good looking, right? But she's paid to play. He literally buys her anything she wants. He marries her. You know, she lives a lavish lifestyle. And what he gets back is just, you know, probably a bit of sex, you know, and her being his woman. She's never going to suck his dick with veracity. He's not going to get the top massages. He's not going to get great meals. And, you know, he understands that. Or it's either, like we said, either he pays to play or he gets treated like a trick. Yeah? Because tricks get manipulated a lot of time. And, you know, women like... So it kind of falls into each other. So it's either they get treated like a trick where they get all their resources extracted, or they decide to date a woman in their in the same bracket as themselves. Obviously, Jeff Bezos is worth 200 billion plus. He's not going to be able to find a woman who's worth that much. But dating a woman who has 30 million, it's pretty much enough to say, do you know what? She's not using me just for my resources, you know? Like, yeah, now she can go and, you know, go on the best yacht whatsoever instead of just hiring an amazing yacht. But really and truly, if you have $30 million in your life, you can pretty much do anything you want that a billionaire can do. Majority of the time. Not everything, but majority of the time, guys. So, Doncaster, South Yorkshire. Come on, big up to Doncaster. That's near Manchester, right? Doncaster. South Yorkshire. So, it's, all right, cool. Well, look, Jack, this is another thing, yeah? They tell us... well, type 1 is hereditary, type 2 is environmental. And which one do you have? Did you say, my brother? You said you had type 1? Where is it? I know you. You're type 1, yeah? So they say it's hereditary. All right, Jack, I'm going to give you another red pill. It's not hereditary, my brother. There's no such thing. Like, look, my dad died of cancer, yeah? If I went and ate shit, loads of shit, is there more of a possibility of me getting cancer because maybe it's hereditary? Yeah, sure, right? But the reason that things are hereditary is because the majority of the times we're eating the same foods that our parents ate, the same bad habits that our parents had. I don't believe that, and I believe even the type 1 that they say that, you know, you can't cure, you can't reverse. Go research Dr. Sebi, brother. I'm about to change your life. Go research Victor Bowman, Dr. Sebi. There's loads of other healers out there. You can reverse type 1 diabetes. Type 1 diabetes is not hereditary. You can get rid of it. If you decided to go on the right path and, you know, start being optimal with your diet, doing all the optimal practices to be a better man, then guess what? Your future children are not going to have diabetes. Their future children are not going to have diabetes, and that's so on. It's only hereditary because we follow the same bad habits our parents did. Trust me, man. I believe that anyway. So, yeah, guys, I know plenty of guys. It's not just Jeff Bezos. Like, you know, there's a guy on my Instagram who I follow, I've mentioned before, a guy called Cash, right? He's a Pajit. Like, you know, I wouldn't call him a friend, but I'd say he's a what's it called when someone's associate. Yeah, he's an associate, acquaintance. He's an acquaintance, you know. If I saw him in the street, I say, hello, how are you, bro? How you been? Keep it moving. Never hang out with him, right? And he makes incredible money. However, he's out of shape, right? Very out of shape. You know, he's a Pajit, doesn't have game, fucking, you know, probably not the most hygienic, not only because he's a Pajit, but bro, I don't know, man. Just like, you know, when someone's like overweight like that and they just don't carry themselves well, like, I don't know. He just gives me vibes of a man who can't get women. If he had no money, he'd be absolutely fucking cooked. And this guy, the only way he's able to get women is pay to play. So he buys girls Chanel bags in order for him to be able to hang out with them. And I'm sure that 80% of the time, he's probably not even fucking these girls. And that's how you're going to get treated, guys. If you go out there, make loads of money, don't gain experience, don't understand female nature, don't build frame, don't get into physical shape. And yeah, that's how you're going to get treated. You're going to be treated like a trick. And Jeff Bezos is smart enough to understand this. So he's like, look, am I going to get treated like a trick and get with a woman who literally doesn't give a fuck about me? Or am I going to date a woman in my bracket? Which majority of the time, guys who are rich do not date within their social bracket, do not date within their same financial bracket. Like me, you know, I'm not going to say how much I'm worth, but I'm good, right? I would never date a woman anywhere near how much I'm worth. Why? Because I know that's going to come with masculine traits. That's not the type of woman that I want, right? And honestly, I don't give a fuck how much money a woman brings to the table or her career. For me, her career is going to be being a mother to my children, you know, making sure the home is well, making sure she's able to give me fresh and amazing meals, making sure that the house is hygienic, you know, even going shopping and, you know, enjoying herself and going on trips. That comes with her positives being with me as well. However, those are the things that I have high boundaries and standards, but these are the things that I expect of women. I'm not going to expect her to be 50-50. Like, I don't expect a woman to pay anything towards the bill. Like, that's not what I think men are put out here for. There's definitely a cure for it, but the amount of money in pharmaceutical companies will lose too much money. Exactly, brother. So, Jack, I want to see you do it, bruv. You can cure this. You're going to get rid of diabetes type 1. You're going to go alkaline. You're going to work on yourself more and more. You've got a good head screwed on, you can tell. And I guarantee you, bro, 6 months of being alkaline, you're going to be like, oh, shit. Like, bro, I found out I don't need insulin if I have enough exercise enough. I went wild camping last year for 2 days, didn't have 1 unit of insulin, and my blood sugars were fine. Exactly, brother. Listen, you should be working out every single day, Jack. Every single day. Working out, sauna, ice plunge, cold plunge, long walks, hiking, eating the greatest food you can, deep breathing, going to sleep early. All these things are very important. Getting 8 to 9 hours of rest every night. All right, cool. So that basically explains to you guys dating and why Jeff Bezos ended up going with this 55-year-old 304. Now, next, we're going to talk about double standards in dating. And you know, this is something I've said before, guys, right? Whenever a woman says her preferences or what she wants in a man, other women and even other men, we glorify it. We say, yeah, you go, girl. You deserve the best. Yeah, you're so right. That's exactly what you should get, right? However, when a man says his standards and boundaries, we demonize him. Oh, bro, you sound controlling. You're misogynistic. All these things. Do you get what I'm saying? And I'm going to go through a few of the double standards and why they don't make sense, right? Women want an older man. Yeah. Which, let me tell you guys, majority of women want older men. We call that a preference. Yeah. Now, if I want a younger woman, just like younger women like older men, if I decided I wanted a younger woman, which I want, like I only date women from 18 to 22. Couldn't give a fuck what anyone says about it. Shame me all you like, I couldn't give a fuck. Yeah, you guys ain't going to be there dictating to me who I'm going to settle down with and who I'm going to create a family with, yeah? In fact, most of the guys who actually shame men like that, or even women, the women that shame men, yeah, who go for younger women, are women who are in their late 20s and 30s and they're washed up and no man wants them no more. And they're bitter. That's why they feel this way. And the men who say this are men who don't understand dating, yeah, and maybe perhaps think that, oh, that's way too young. But they're going to date women who are in their mid-20s, 30s, and they're going to find out the hard way that those women who have been through too many men, have their ways and their minds set on a certain way of living. They're not good women. They're not good wives, right? So, women want older man, preference. Older men want younger women, predatory. Women don't want to date broke men, preference. Men don't want to date single women. Men don't want to date single mums, immature. Again, I tell you guys, don't date single mums. It's a bad bet. Unless you're a single dad yourself, there's no reason to date single mums. Women want a dominant man, preference. Men want a submissive woman, misogyny. Yeah? If I turn around and I say, I want my woman to be submissive, I don't want her to be talkative and to answer me back. Yeah? I don't want her to have a big Instagram account and, you know, entertain other men. Like, bro, that's all misogyny all of a sudden. You're controlling. But when a woman says what she likes, it's just great. Anyway, women set boundaries, empowering. Man sets boundaries, controlling. So yeah, it just proves to you guys that the female experience in dating is glamorized. And, you know, we even lie to women. We tell women, you know, you've got loads of time. Men are always going to be around. You can go chase your career, and in the end, there's going to be men waiting for you at the end of the line. You can go get yourself a great man at the end of your career, yeah? Or you can be a single mum and you'll still find a great man. Or you can be in your 30s and still find the man of your dreams. This is all lies. We fucking lie to women all the time. The truth is, women have a ticking time bomb. From 18 to 24, it's been voted statistically by men. They are the most attractive. Men, we are physical creatures. Why? Because we want to have, first of all, we go for beauty, right? Because we want to have beautiful children. Second of all, we go for youth because we understand the negatives that come with an older woman. And biologically, we go for a younger woman because if I go for a woman who's 20 years old, she can make me she can have 5 children. Me and her can go and have 5 babies together. Yeah? If I get with a girl who's my age, she's fucking cooked. She can't even give me 1 child. And, you know, a lot of people can turn around and say, well, you know, well, why, bro, you're a 35-year-old man and you don't hold 35-year-old women at the same, you don't hold yourself as the same standards as a 35-year-old woman. Well, guys, a man's prime is way later than a woman's prime. And this goes with biology as well. Me at 25 years old, I'm not an accomplished man. Majority of men are never going to be accomplished at 25 years old. You're not going to gain enough female experience. You're not going to be strong enough, fit enough in the gym, financially free enough. You're not going to have all these things, right? It's going to take you blood, sweat and tears to be an accomplished man. That takes a man 10 years, sometimes 15 years, right? So men tend to have a later prime than a woman. Women, they get their value up front. From 18 years old, a woman can go out there, get on yachts with multi-millionaires, have amazing opportunities, or even if she wants, she can go and chase a career if she wants. However, we don't tell women, if you're going to chase your career, you might be giving up a family with your dream man at the end. I don't date women in their late 20s. What positive is it going to give me? Absolutely none. Zero. Yeah? And I'm not going to let other people try and shame me into dating a woman I don't want to fucking date. Fuck that shit. Yeah? Boosting channels from Ghost Town to Warzone. Oh, it's a spam. All right, cool. So yeah, guys. That's pretty much it, right? Women have a time clock where they can create the most healthy children and go and find the best man possible. We lie to women and we tell the women this is not the case, right? We actually tell women that, you know, your career is important and that's how you're going to find a greater man. But that's not true. Great men who are successful, they don't give a fuck about a woman's career. As long as she's not a stripper and it's not a career that embarrasses me, she can be she can be a server at fucking Starbucks. I do not give a fuck. Yeah, she can work at McDonald's. I don't care. I care about her past. Has she got promiscuous traits? Was she a hoe? Yeah, these are the things I care about. Women care about a man's future and a man cares about a woman's past. Very simple, guys. And it's crazy to me that men understand this shit, but women don't because we fucking lie to them constantly. Get a girl on the hook now. Any suggestions? Not been dating for like a year. Got a girl on the hook now. Any suggestions? Not been dating for like a year. Well, Jack, how old are you, my guy? And how old is the girl that you're speaking to? And yeah, if I was you, I would just make sure she has traits to be a great mother, a great wife. Is she a homely girl? Is she quiet? Does she answer you back? Does she follow people like Kylie Jenner on Instagram? Does she think she's an independent woman and it's cool? These are the things you're going to have to look for. And you've got to vet women properly, man. A lot of men are very quick to qualify women. Just like a woman should wait out for a man to have sex, I believe a woman should make sure she makes the man wait for sex. Don't give it to him straight away. Do you get what I'm saying? Vet him properly. Make sure that he qualifies to be the man that you want to be with. And then once a man fucks a woman, yeah, after that, it's down to you, bro, to be vetting her as well. So you turn around and you slept with her and you're like, all right, cool. Does this woman have all the traits and all the things I'm looking for to have a great wife and a great mother for my children? I'm 28. She's like 26. I knew her in school. Well, look, bro, I would say I'd never say never, right? At 26, she could still be okay. She still could be feminine. You know, I don't know how long you've been talking to her since school. Have you guys been dating since school and now you're dating seriously? Did you guys not talk for a certain amount of years? But if I was a 28-year-old man, me personally, I would date a girl from 18 to 21 personally. However, if she's a good girl, I'm not saying that good women don't exist outside of that age bracket. Yeah, I can go find a woman who's 35 who's a good woman. Yeah, I don't think that all women who are 35 are bad wives and bad women. However, it's just not going to give me what I want. I want plenty of children. You know, I'll be honest with you. I know this sounds crazy, but I don't give a fuck. I'm just going to have to say it. I want to see my woman from all stages of life. I want to see my woman as a late teenager. I want to see my woman is in her early 20s. I want to see my woman in her mid 20s. I want to see my woman get into her 30s. I want to see my woman look as a MILF. I want to see my woman be in her 40s. Like, I'm not going to leave my woman because she gets older. A lot of women and men turn around and say, well, you like younger women. Does that mean you're just going to get rid of your woman as she gets older? No, retards. No, that's not what it means. Yeah? It just means that I want to get my woman from the beginning, knowing that she hasn't been through a ton of guys. I can coach her and get her to be the woman that I want her to be, and I know best, yeah? Men always know the best for women. That's why the best women always come from strong fathers or strong brothers. And if they don't have strong brothers and strong fathers, majority of the time they're fucking cooked. They're fucking cooked. They get programmed by society, programmed by fucking women like they get programmed by women like fucking Megan Thee Stallion, Nicki Minaj, and all these fucking whores. And that's when your woman is cooked for life. All right, cool. Bob Vylan. Didn't know who the fuck Bob Vylan was, but I found out it's a British punk rap duo out of the UK. You know, never heard of them, but I guess they're doing bits, and they were meant to come over and perform in America, but they did have their visa revoked for chanting death to the IDF. So, listen to me. If they were saying chanting death to Jews, I would say that, absolutely wrong. Especially if you go to a concert and you're trying to talk about chanting death to Jews. I think that would be absolutely wrong. And I think that even having their visa revoked, it'd be what it is. I do believe in freedom of speech, but if you're going to chant death to a certain ethnicity of people, I think that's wrong. However, I understand why people are saying death to IDF. It's because people waking up every single fucking day and seeing the amount of images of dead children and dead people in Gaza over and over again, a massive genocide happening by the IDF. That's why people are chanting death to the IDF. Yeah? And, I think it's very important for us to differentiate the difference between IDF and Jews, Israel and Jews, right? And not even just Israelis, because not all Israelis believe in what the Israeli government are doing, right? You can be Israeli and be anti-Zionist. However, I do believe the Zionists who agree with what's going on in Gaza, the Zionists that do agree with Netanyahu, the IDF, those people are scum of the earth. And, I just don't see how you can accept seeing dead people. I don't care what history you guys have between yourselves. I'm Greek. My dad went to war, and I have Turkish in me as well. Cypriot, a small amount, very small amount. But I always turn around and say that Turkey a terrorist state as well, right? What they've done to the Armenians and stuff, disgusting, terrible. Yeah. Now, I'm able to be part of something and still have the higher enough IQ to be like, you know what, that's not right. And that's why I got to give it, man. Like the top guys out there are fucking Jews themselves. Like Norman Finkelstein, Stu Peters, these guys who are Jews who are coming out against Israel, those guys I value the most. You got to have real big cojones and you got to have real high IQ to be able to say, do you know what? I am a Jew, but you know what? I don't agree with what Israel's doing right now. I don't agree with what Netanyahu's doing right now. I don't agree with the amount of children that are starving and dying in Gaza right now. Do you get what I'm saying? Pure evil, yeah. Just like Jack said, pure evil, man. Same in Zionists. Zionists are the problem. They are brought up on the ideology since children. It's true, bro. It's very true. I agree with you. So, they are actually talking about bringing anti-Semitic laws here in America, which, is a slippery slope. And it's crazy to me that it's only one group of people that you can't speak about. You can talk about fat people. You can talk about gay people. You can talk about the trans people. You can talk about black people. You can talk about white people. But you can't talk about them boys. You can't talk about the small hats. You can't talk about them. Do you get what I'm saying? And it just shows and it proves to you guys that they run everything. Yeah, they control everything. And when people turn around and say, well, how do they control it? That's my proof. That is my fucking proof. If we're going to have laws coming out, anti-Semitic laws, when, you can turn around and say, anything about any other race any other kind of people, but you can't say it about the small hats. It's fucking crazy to me, man. It's fucking insane. I believe we should have freedom of speech across the whole fucking board. Police gave me a warning for calling Starmer a pussy on Twitter. That is crazy, bro. That is crazy, Jack. Fuck, you know. And you know what? The UK is a failed nation, man. And, you know, the UK really doesn't give a fuck about us. Like, I know the governments in general don't care about us, but the UK government especially does not give a fuck about the UK. The dimming of the sun, the amount of chemtrails, yeah, the amount of immigration we have in our country, the amount of lack of opportunities. Yeah, people talk about London and UK like we have a high amount of opportunities. Let me tell you guys something, especially you guys in America who think that people in England and Britain are well off and it's all teas and biscuits. The UK is a place where opportunities are very scarce. Yeah. There's not many opportunities in UK, not many opportunities even in the capitals like London, yeah? Majority of people are poor, majority of people are living paycheck to paycheck. Most people don't earn six figures in London. It's incredibly hard to earn six figures in London. UK is garbage, man. UK is, you know, it's a failed nation, failed society. There's not much positive to come out of the UK apart from it makes us humans very strong because we're able to, you know, get through the concrete jungle. That's the truth. UK is cooked right now, G. Yeah, man, I agree with you. The UK is cooked for sure. How long have we been streaming for? A little over an hour. All right, Jack, I don't think there's many of us in here as well, but listen, you guys can ask me any questions before I lock off the stream. Listen, another favor I want you guys to do. I know there's not many of us in here right now. I know it's going to be growing more and more as we get bigger. Please go over, like and comment on the video, especially when the stream ends. Go and like the video and drop a comment on the live stream, especially on YouTube. Even if you're watching it on Kick, Rumble, Twitch, wherever you're watching it, open up a new tab, go over to YouTube, give it a like, drop me a comment, and slowly we can get up the algorithm. We're dropping loads of shorts, you know. I'm putting a lot of money behind this. You know, I've got an incredible team behind me. Taj and Trevor working really hard at the moment. And like I said, I'm putting a lot of my finances into this, man, a lot of my time into this, you know. I make good money outside of content. I don't really need to be doing this, but I do have love for this. I do have passion for this. And like I said, I am doing it for finances in the end as well. But right now, I am aware that I'm not going to be earning a penny off this for maybe the first 6 months, year, couple years, whatever it may be. And I'm going to be giving back tons of value, tons of giveaways to all the, I was going to say alcoholics, natureholics, my bad. So yeah, I'm going to sub after to YouTube. Thank you, Big A, appreciate you. Royal Taj, big up to you. Jays, big up to you, my G. Jack, James Allen, Nature the whole way. Big up to you guys, man. I appreciate you guys being in here. And look, if we can keep this community of small amount of us in here regularly, look, I said this last time as well. Next week, I'm going to give a big giveaway with some bud from Nature Boys, right? I'll give you guys a big giveaway next week, yeah? But let's just keep like, try and make every stream if you guys can. I know you guys are busy. You're not able to do every stream. But if we can make all the streams at the beginning until there's 20, 30, 40 of us, I'd appreciate it. And I'm always going to give it back to you guys. Give it back to you guys with advice. Finances themselves, I'll give back with giveaways with money and bud. And I'm always going to be giving back into my streams. For example, if I go make 100K into content, I'm going to spend at least 60, 70K into bringing cool guests, getting even better cameras, making the aesthetics better, working, getting girls' nights back. Like, I'll keep putting it back into my content. Do you get what I'm saying? So that is a promise to you guys. Okay. That's pretty much it, guys. Next week, I'll be streaming on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We've got videos dropping next week as well. Loads of videos, loads of shorts. I'm also working on videos which are not going to be streams, just videos we're going to upload themselves. And we are going to start uploading on Instagram regularly going forward. Like, you know, we've been saying it for a while, but we're going to start posting up on Instagram regularly. I already get crazy numbers on Instagram. I do think we can get 1 million views a month on Instagram going forward. So looking forward to that. We will be building the Ascenders League, which is going to be the community of us. I want to have all successful men in there, you know, men who are into their physique, finances, spiritual, mental, guys who are maybe like UFC guys. Some of the guys are going to be crypto guys. Some of the guys are going to be more into dating. Just going to have a diverse group of young guys who are trying to work and be the best versions of themselves. So yeah, guys, I'll catch you guys on Monday. That's going to be our next stream. To all my Americans, I hope you have a happy 4th of July, which is tomorrow. And yeah, big love to everyone. Thank you again, James Allen, Jack, Jays, Taj, Big A, all the rest of you guys. Big up to everyone. Big love, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.